Good evening, believers. How are you all doing tonight? I hope you're doing well on this Thursday, this end of January already. 2022 is speeding on by already. We are almost done with January. Joining me for the Healing Hour Live. How are you doing today? I hope you are on the healing path today. I hope that's why you were joining me because you were just feeling being on the healing path today. You were saying, you know what? Today is the day. Love Coach Joshua is going to tell me something awesome about being in my relationship and continuing and getting on the healing path after infidelity. That is what I'm here for. So I hope that is what you are here to do tonight. Say hi to me if you're here. Let me know. I see folks coming in already. Come on in. Come on in. Let's talk. We got things to talk about today. Um, I am Love Coach Dasha, and I am here to talk to you about getting on the healing path after infidelity. You have been, hey Charmaine, I see you. Hello. You've been going through this trauma. You have. I understand that. I get it. I know exactly what you're going through because I went through it too. But I chose love. I chose to be with the person that I really thought was my person, and I was right about that. We are 14 years later, and things are going great, and I can trust him, and I'm barely ever triggered. I every now and again a trigger will pop up on me, but doesn't happen much. And I can trust him, and I can feel like, I'm not wondering what he's doing all the time. I'm not feeling compelled to look through his phone. I'm not doing all that. It is going well. And I know it can go well for you too, using my dreams formula. I came up with a formula step by step of what you need to do to be able to overcome infidelity. Everybody needs a formula, right? You need some way, some path to follow to be able to get through this. And the dreams formula is the healing path. Decide that you want to be with this person. It has to be about you. It cannot be about them. It has to be about you and how you feel about this particular person. This is not for everybody. This is not for just some random, okay? This is for the person that you feel deep down is your person. He's your lobster. He's the one that you're going to be with. You imagining your life going forward with them for good. That's the person I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just some random person, because this is going to require a higher skill level than just some random person. You're going to have to feel this deeper than just some random person to be able to pull this off. R is recognizing and overcoming that fear speech, the fearful negative things that go on in your head that you hear from other people that make you feel scared about making that decision. Evaluate the why, figure out exactly what it is that's going on with this person that made them do this, what pain it is that they're going through that made them feel like this was a good idea. Because you must be going through something if you think cheating is a good idea, right? Hey Tara, good evening. How you doing? Glad you are here. You got to be going through some stuff if you feel like cheating is a good idea. We all know cheating is a bad idea. So what must you be going through mentally, physically, spiritually, that you feel like, let me go ahead and cheat on my girl? There's something wrong there. So we got to figure out what that is. Allowing the healing to happen is the A. You got to actually let down your walls. Bling Believer over here on Instagram. Lori. Yeah. I think that's Lori. Is that you, Lori? Let me know. Hey, how you doing? But allowing the healing to happen, letting down those walls, saying, okay, this is the person that I want to be with. I am going to let myself allow myself to trust. I'm going to allow myself to love. I'm going to allow myself to be in a position where he could hurt me again. That is what allowing the healing to happen is, because that's where you were before. You were consciously allowing yourself to be in a position where you could be hurt before. You got to get back to that. You got to allow yourself to get back to that loving feeling, like I am trusting. I am going to open my heart up to you and expect you to do the right thing by me. M is managing those future feelings, dealing with those triggers. You know how the triggers go. And then, of course, S is getting the proper support. You have to have somebody who can actually support you through this, who understands what your decision is backing you on that decision, understands that you're going to be fearful about that decision, and supports you in it anyway. Hey there, Lisa. How you doing? Glad to see you. Glad you're with me. We are traveling down the healing path together. I see y'all. Everybody coming through today. All right. Let me make sure I can see it on StreamYard. See, yeah, I can't see your names on StreamYard, but I can see it on Facebook. If you're gonna talk to me, hit me up on streamyard.com/Facebook and just allow them to use your name so I can see it on my broadcast screen where I'm like streaming out everything at the same time. I can see it there. All right, but it's okay. Even if you don't, I'm still looking back and forth on Facebook. Oh, I'm still checking. I'm so glad. Look at everybody. Hello. Lissy said you made it. I'm glad you made it. Lori, you came on over to Facebook. Yeah, because I can see your real name on the Facebook. I like to call everybody by their real name. Christy, hello. I'm so glad that you're here. Y'all, everybody is coming on in. Come on in. We're going to talk about getting on the healing path after infidelity. I'm so glad you're here. All right, so of course we're gonna start off like we always. Well, wait. Let me before we start off like we always start off. Let me remind you that tomorrow is the last day that you can sign up for my recovery and reconciliation membership. This is $67 a month. $67 a month for 4-hour-long group coaching sessions every single month. We are coming and talking about the dreams formula. We're talking about getting on the path every week. That's what we are doing. We do 2 sessions that is just me teaching and answering your questions. And we do 2 sessions that is just you coming to me and asking me questions, talking to me, telling me what's going on. We talk about things. We had a lovely conversation last night. Lori, you were there. Lori was there for our latest meeting. We just sat and we talked and we got some things on the table. It's a very good supportive place for you to be if you're in a place where you know that you want to work this out, but you need some support. That's what that S is for in the dreams formula. You need some support who knows what you're doing and is backing you on it. Is not saying anything negative about you doing it. They're like, you know what? I am doing the exact same thing. I fully believe that you can do it. I believe that I can do it. We're going to get through this as a unit. So if you are interested, come on. Lisa, you're in Scotland. You made it here. Girl, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate that. Laura, you said you loved the session last night. I'm so glad. That was the first time you got to meet some of the other ladies that are in the group. It is a fabulous group. I'm trying to tell you, if you are trying to get on the healing path, you need to come on in. Join my group. It is $67 a month. That is it. You can't even get therapy for that much. Okay. You can't get 4 therapy sessions for $67. What is that coming out to be like? What I figured out was like $17, $18 a session. It's ridiculous, but it's a very supportive place where you can come and you can talk, you can vent. You have people who understand exactly what you're going through. Nobody is guilting you. Nobody is shaming you. Nobody is saying, no, why don't you leave? Everybody there is on the same exact page and you are working towards it every week together. So if you are interested, click on the link. There's a link in my Facebook, my Facebook banner and everything. Click on the link and go and sign up for the Recovery and Reconciliation Program. I'm trying to tell you, it's good stuff. It makes me so happy to go and talk to these women every week because we making progress, striding, going down that healing path. They're not stopping for anybody. They are going for it. And I love that. I love that every week. All right. And I love talking to you all every week. Don't think that I don't love talking to you all just like this every week. This is a wonderful thing that I do every single week and talking about getting on the healing path, telling you what you need to do, the basics, the things that you need to do to get on the healing path. So I want you to stick around for that because I got some stuff about some overthinking. We're going to talk about cheating back. We're going to talk about some things today. All right. So first thing, as always, to get started where we always get started, where I'm always going to tell you to get started, is doing your deep breathing and doing your journaling. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Have you been doing your journaling? Let me know. Give me some. Beth is in the group too. Beth said join the group. Beth said come on here. Come be with us because this is some good stuff. Every week we are working on it, striding. We are making strides. Ain't nobody stuck in the group, okay? Nobody in there is stuck. Nobody is feeling like, oh, they're hopeless. They are moving forward, okay? And you got me as a mentor, and then you have people that have been in the group even longer. They could be mentors too. Anyway, let me tell you about the deep breathing. All right. So, if you have not been doing your deep breathing and your journaling, you are doing yourself a disservice. You need to be doing this on a regular basis. Okay. This needs to be something that you are practicing on, because Lori said deep breathing has been so good for you, isn't it? It is so good. I was a nurse for 20 years. I know for sure that oxygen helps all pain, all of it, every bit of it, including psychological pain, physical pain, little spiritual pain, all of that. It helps because it gives your body what it needs to work. It gives your body the oxygen that it needs. So doing that deep breathing is super helpful in getting that anxiety level down, because you're way up here when the trauma happens, and that makes sense. Of course you would be way up here when the trauma happens, but we need to start pulling that level down. We're going to start pulling it down every day. Every day, we're going to work on it, bringing it down to a more manageable level so that we can get to a place where we can regulate our emotions. All right. Lisa, you said I've helped you loads already. I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for letting me know. I love to do this. Somebody asked me last night, I was doing a coaching session last night, and they were like, don't you get tired of hearing everybody's problems? And I was like, I love this. I love this. My husband says I'm just nosy, but the truth is, I love to help people. I've been a healer like since I've had a career, since I was able to do anything. So I am excited about being able to help you all get to the place where you feel happier, in love, feeling like you're letting those walls down. You're not living in fear. I don't want you to live in fear. It sucks. It sucks to live in fear, and I don't want it. I don't want that for any one of you. You all are in a relationship where you love somebody, and you have every right to be able to love who you love. Like, you're not wrong for that. You are not wrong for saying, this is my person. And yes, he was an idiot. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I completely understand that he was a total idiot on this, but that doesn't mean that his has to erase our entire lives together. It doesn't have to erase all the good that happened between us. It doesn't have to erase all the good I know about this person. It doesn't have to do that. I want to be with the person that I'm with. I do. I want to. All right. Naomi Ross, I think that's how you say it over on Instagram. Hey girl, how you doing? Lisa, you said, oh, you joined this group a year ago and you're a completely different person now. Oh, thank you so much. See, that's just the free group. You're just been over here chilling in love after cheating. If you're not in love after cheating, if you're on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, or if you're on Instagram and you are not in my love after cheating group, you need to come on over and join that one. That's totally free. That's on Facebook, and we're working things out in there too. Lots of good questions, lots of good support in that group too. And that our whole point of that group is we're not telling each other to leave. So you come into this group, it's a whole bunch of other women who are trying to stay too. So yes, I am glad that you are having a good time in here, Lisa. I'm glad that you're feeling it. I'm glad that you are, because that's exactly what I want. I want you all to have the feeling that you can do this. You absolutely can. You are not restricted from loving who you love by circumstance. That is not, you don't have to allow that in your life. You can choose to live the life that you want to live instead of the life you're kind of cornered into living by circumstances. Nobody wants to do that. We're not doing that. We're better than that. We're not doing that. All right, let me get back on track. Doing your deep breathing. We're going to do the deep breathing together. What we do is 4-7-8 breathing. What we do is we blow out. Try and empty out your lungs, deflate the balloon. You're going to inhale through your nose or through your mouth for a count of 4. You're going to hold that breath for a count of 7, and then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. It's a little difficult to do. If you do stuff like smoke, it's a little bit difficult right off the bat, but if you do it back to back 3 times with me, you'll have it by the 3rd time, all right? And I suggest that you do this 5 times a day. I have a video. It is on YouTube right now. It says start here and breathe is what it says. So all you need to do is go over to my Love Coach Dasha videos and on my YouTube channel and go to that one and just play it whenever you need to do your deep breathing. You can just play it. I will guide you along in the video in exactly what you need to do your deep breathing. If you can't think of it, if you're stressing, if you can't remember numbers, I got you. So just go on over there and do it. But we're going to do it 3 times together right now, just because for time. That's the only reason we're doing it 3 times. So what we are going to do is we are going to blow out. Make that noise. In through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. How does that feel? How does it feel when you're doing the deep breathing? How is it? Because it should feel better. It should feel a little bit better as soon as you start doing it. Letting out some of that carbon dioxide. What happens when you're anxious, when you're stressed, you start sipping the air and never letting it out. So you build up excess carbon dioxide. That's a physical thing. That is something physically happening to your body. So it is something you can physically do something about. It's not about getting your mind around something. It's not trying to think your way through. It is just simply getting rid of that excess carbon dioxide, feeding yourself extra oxygen. It will help make you feel a little tingly, get a little oxygen high going on, completely free, completely legal. It will make you feel, it might make you tired, might make you yawn. If you haven't been resting well, it'll definitely make you yawn. It should make you feel a little clearer. All of a sudden, it's like, ooh, oxygen. Oh, okay, gotcha. It should make you feel a little bit clearer. So if you're doing this deep breathing on a regular basis, you are giving yourself those positive side effects every time you do it. So then it works better the more you do it. Okay. I know people just will forget about doing the deep breathing until I tell them to, but I'm trying to tell you 5 times a day. Schedule it, put it in your phone. Make it be that an alarm goes off every single time you're supposed to do it, and then do it every time the alarm goes off. I know people will set alarms and just not do the alarm. I get it. Sometimes I do the same thing, but most of the stuff now that I have in my alarms is I need to do this. I know, stop what I'm doing and go do this, or else I'm going to forget. So if you do it like that and just do this 5 times a day, you are going to reap the benefits of it. You are going to bring your heart rate down. You're going to bring your blood pressure down. You're going to bring that stress and anxiety level that seems so high that you can't even grasp it. You're going to start cranking it down. Every day, you're going to be pushing it, pulling it down to a more manageable level so you can handle it, so you can deal with it. When it's way above your head, how are you supposed to deal with it? It's very difficult, right? We got to bring it down to a place where we can manage it. We don't want it to overwhelm us. And so in order for it not to overwhelm us, we got to pay attention. We got to actually do things for ourselves, do this self-care for a few minutes every day. It's not even very long. You see how short that was to do 3 of them. Doing 2 more is not that much longer. When you do this on a regular basis for yourself, you are showing yourself self-care. You are telling your brain, I don't need you to just go into autopilot, fight or flight, or freeze mode. I don't need you to do that. I am in control of my body, of my reactions. I'm okay. And then you don't keep getting that spurt of adrenaline and then those terrible negative thoughts that come with that. All of that stuff is connected. It is a physical reaction that you're experiencing as a mental reaction. Okay. So if you are doing parts of the physical stuff that make the physical part better, you're going to make the mental part better too. Does that make sense? I will tell you every week. I will tell you every single solitary week if I have to, until you are with me and you are doing your deep breathing. I had terrible anxiety for a very long time when I was younger, but guess what? I got rid of it. Doing the deep breathing effectively brings that anxiety level to a point where you can manage it. You can deal with it. When it is way, way up there, you can't do anything with it. It's just a big old monster trying to eat you. Okay. All right. So then, doing your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? Have you been sitting down and giving yourself at least 5 minutes in the morning and in the evening to write your thoughts, to be with your thoughts? Have you done that? You need to be doing that. You have been through a trauma. You need to get some of this stuff out of your head onto the paper so that your brain will be able to let go of it. It is troubling you, it is weighing on you. And a way to get it off of your mind, get that weight off, is to actually put it down on the paper. It's like taking it off and then saying, and setting it down, and then it will let you go. Those terrible thoughts, if you just go ahead and write them down, a lot of the time, they'll stop. They'll leave you alone because, okay, I put it down. It's in writing now. It's in stone. And there it is. It is out here. It is in the real world. I don't have to keep thinking about it over and over again. Your brain will finally just let it go. So that's one good thing about it. When you're journaling at night, it's going to help you process the day so that you don't end up with nightmares. You know how trauma works. You end up with the nightmares. You don't want to sleep like that every night. In order to get rid of that, we get some of that stuff out of our head, down onto the paper, and then we can just go to sleep and not be stuck in the nightmares. When you're getting up in the morning and doing this for 5 minutes in the morning, it gets your brain together, gets you organized for the day. You can decide what kind of day you're going to have at that point. You can write it down and say, I'm saying right now, it's going to be a good day. I'm a little slow right now, maybe starting off, but it is going to go up and up the entire day. You can write down what you're going to plan on doing, and then you will be looking for that. Your brain will be saying, hey, we wrote down earlier that it was going to be a good day. So we got to look for stuff that's going to make it a good day. We're going to make that true. So your brain will start cooperating with you. These things are a couple ways to make your brain start cooperating with you instead of working against you, as far as providing fear to try and make it so you don't get hurt again. That's what your brain is doing. Your brain is trying to say, look, I don't want us to be hurt anymore. I want to do anything that I possibly can to keep you away from other people, keep you doubting other folks, keep you isolated. And thank you so much, brain, but that is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be with the person that I love. I want to be open and having vulnerable moments. I want to be feeling love and feeling trust. I don't want to be closed off and locked away behind a wall so that nobody can ever hurt me again. That's not the life that I want to live. So you will be able to tell your brain what it is that you want and make it cooperate with going that direction instead of isolating you and making you feel like crap. Okay. So I need you to be doing this stuff. Okay. Have you been doing your journaling? Let me know. Let me know how the journaling is going. Is it going or is it not going? Oh, you said your heart rate changes when you do your deep breathing? Yes, it really does. You don't think that it will, but it really does. When you are focused on doing that, it brings that all of that anxiety down. It is what your body needs. It nourishes your body. It gives oxygen to all your tissues and makes you feel better. So you got to do the deep breathing, got to do the journaling, okay? Be on that. Jump on that. Do it. Go for it, okay? And that's two things that you can absolutely do all by yourself. You do not need anybody at all. You don't need your partner. You don't need a coach. I will remind you, but you don't need me. These are things that you can start doing right now, all on your own, that will start to make you feel better, that you are completely in control of. And don't we need stuff that we're in control of when we're hurting? Yes, we do. We need lots of things that we can control so that we can trick our brains into feeling like we are in control of stuff instead of being in inappropriate control, getting isolated, feeling like we're not connected to people. All right. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, another thing that you can do that's going to make you feel better, that's going to make you feel more open, more happy, more able to deal with life, is to be grateful about things, to be excited about the good stuff that happens to you. It is Thirsty Thursday. We always have good stuff to talk about on Thirsty Thursday. Let's see. Did everybody get a chance? If you didn't get a chance, go on over to the Thirsty Thursday post and post some good stuff that happened to you this week. But Beth said that my husband made it safely to Germany to visit his brothers, and he sent me a picture of him with our two little nephews. Oh, I know, that's so adorable. And it's so great that he got to get to Germany and see his family. Everything, travel has been crazy, shut down, and the COVID and all of that. So he actually made it, and he made it there safely. I am excited for you, Beth. I'm glad that he got there safely, that he is getting to actually see his family for the first time in a good long while. That's a long way to live from your family, you know? I'm glad that he gets to do that, because it's hard when you're like away from family and you want to see them. If you didn't want to see them, that's not that big a deal. But if you like your family and you want to see them on a regular basis, it's hard to be that far apart. So I'm glad he got to do that. Fabulous. Thank you for sharing with me, Beth. Oh my goodness. Let's see. All right. So let me see some stuff that I wanted to talk to you about before I got to answering questions. Well, this one was about a question. Nicole said, and this is a good point, and I just wanted to jump on this and say something about it. I didn't get to actually answer it in the post, but she said, anyone here thought about cheating back? I know that's a question, right? That's always a question. Everybody thinks of that because it's like eye for an eye. If I get you back, then maybe I'll feel better. Maybe it'll be okay. She said, I do sometimes, but then what's that going to solve? It'll just give him an excuse to go out there and cheat again. I know he'll be hurt, but that'll stir up animosity. Yes, you are absolutely right about that. And there's a few things about cheating back. So let me just go through this. First of all, if cheating is so bad, then why are you doing it? That's the first thing. If you're going to complain, if you're going to be this hurt, if you're going to be this devastated, you're going to say that he was such a bad partner to be able to do this to you, then how can you go and do it to him? That doesn't work. That doesn't make any sense. And that's what fear does to you. Fear makes things that don't make any sense seem sensible. So you got to think about it. If that is not who you are, I don't want you forced into doing something that is against who you are because somebody else hurt you, because somebody else did something to you. That is a completely ridiculous way for you to have to live. You should not have to do things that are completely out of your character because somebody else's character. That's crazy. You shouldn't have to do that. That seems like it's backing you into a corner and making you cheat when that wasn't what you would have chosen to do. So absolutely, that's the first thing. Second of all, okay, if you did actually do it, let's say that you did. Let's say that you cheated back. You got him back. Well, there's a couple of things about that. Number one, if you are going to try and actually hurt him with this information, if you are going to try and make him feel how I felt, then the thing is, you're going to have to tell. You're going to have to tell on yourself. You are going to have to acknowledge that I did something terrible that I'm telling you was terrible that you did, but I'm saying that I was justified in it. I gotta watch that. Remember I told you about being justified about doing stuff? I was justified in doing it, but you weren't, but I was. And so now I'm telling you that I betrayed you like that. And now, now what are you going to do? Okay, see, that's a very messed up thing to do. Number one, why are you telling on yourself? He didn't tell on himself, did he? Well, some of them do. Every now and again, we get some in here that have told what happened without being prompted. But for the most part, are people telling on themselves? No, they're not. So you are doing it with the intention that you are going to have to tell them in order to hurt them. That's no way to get through reconciling. That's not going to help you. That's not going to get your relationship to a better place. Oh my goodness. And then it's things like that. That's playing games. And playing games is how people end up on the news. Playing games with people's emotions and getting people all riled up on purpose. Because more, you can say whatever you like, but more than likely, he did not want you to know that he cheated. He was not trying to rile you up like this on purpose. He had no intention of you ever finding out. You just happened to find out. Chances are he had no intention of you actually hurting. He didn't want it to be a painful situation for you. It was just something to soothe pain within him. So you are going about the idea of, well, I am going to intentionally do something I know is wrong that I want to punish him for, and I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to tell on myself after I do it. That seems like just like the craziest thing in the whole wide world to me. I just never got it. It seemed like a bad idea. It seems like a setup for failure. So that's my thoughts about it. Do you have any thoughts about it? Let me check and see if you all have some thoughts about the whole cheating back thing. I get it. I understand, but God knows, it seems like a really horrible idea. Um, Lori said, "Yeah, Beth. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad he's there. I'm glad he's safe." Allie, you said my system demo didn't bomb because I convinced them the new way was good. Oh, fantastic! Okay, so you were at work and they were able to. Some Thirsty Thursday, some good news. All right, I know that's right. He said, because I convinced him that the new way was good. That's what I'm trying to say, because we will convince you of some good stuff. And he said, no, I wouldn't know how. You wouldn't know how what? Or they thought you wouldn't know how? Is that what it was? Yeah, let me catch up with that. But oh my goodness, good stuff is happening. But yeah, I just never. Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't know how to cheat back. Is that what you were saying, Allie? Let me. Yeah. Okay. All right. I had to catch up with what I was talking about. Yeah. The whole idea seemed like a bad idea. And the thing was, my husband was like, "Well, if you really felt like you needed to do it, fine. If that's what you would feel like would help you and make you heal, great. But I don't want to know." That's what he was saying. He was like, "Do not tell me. I don't want to know that." And none of these men, if you asked him right now if he wanted to know, chances are he's not going to want to know if you did cheat back. Okay. So the whole thing is you're going into it trying to hurt the other person. And that's probably not where they were coming from. They weren't actually trying to hurt you, they were trying to solve some problem within themselves. So, the whole cheating back thing, I get it. I understand the logic of it. The logic is, well, you hurt me this way, so I'm going to hurt you back the same way. But usually it's not the same because you're going out intentionally to do it, and you're swearing up and down that it's so bad. You're saying that it's a terrible thing to do, and you're so devastated, but you can go out and do it. You're a hypocrite then. He's not going to believe you. He's not going to believe that you feel that strongly about it if you went out and did it too. Because you did it too. You felt like it was a good enough thing for you to do, but it wasn't a good enough thing for me to do. Oh, no, he's not going to listen to that. So, yeah, the whole cheating back thing, I understand. I get the logic, but if you really think about it logically, it is not a good idea. Not a good idea. All right. All right. Any thoughts about that? Kind of questions, comments? Thank you for that, Nicole. I appreciate that question. I appreciate you putting it out there because you were absolutely right. All right. Let's see. Someone was asking me. I think I've actually been talking to several people about this topic, about overthinking, about just being stuck and keep on rehashing the same thing. So I had to find some good steps that you can do to actually stop the overthinking. So you ready for that? Come on in here. Let's talk about it real quick. So I have a list of a few things that you can do when you're overthinking. And of course, the overthinking is always negative thinking. It's never like great. It's never like positive, like I am about to win the lottery and my life is about to be wonderful. It is never that. It's always god awful. It's always misery. So you got to stop that. You got to get unstuck from that. So that's the first thing, is to notice that you're stuck, to pay attention to it. You can do it so much that you don't even pay attention to the fact that you're doing it anymore. I spent some time with that. I did do that. And that wasn't even, in the relationship. That wasn't even then. That was even before the relationship. I spent a lot of time overthinking, being very anxious, and I was always doing it, but not conscious that I was doing it. It was like all of a sudden I would just keep on spiraling and finally realize, like, oh, I feel awful because I've been thinking these terrible thoughts. So you have to actually recognize that you're doing it. Pay attention. Monitor your thoughts from time to time. If you're starting to feel a little tense, if you're starting to feel a little off, start paying attention to what you're thinking, because your thoughts could be repeating and negative, and you're not paying it any mind, and it's just going on a loop and replaying over and over and over again in your brain, and you're becoming more and more convinced of it because it's just playing on auto, and you're not actually acknowledging it. You're not trying to fight against it. It is just repeating. You just have to acknowledge it's not productive. This is not helping me. Yes, I hear you thoughts. I fully understand that you are afraid and you're anxious, but this is not helping me. It is making me more afraid. It is making me more anxious. It is making me less likely to move forward and do the things that I need to do. It is not helpful. Okay, cut it out. Okay, like actually talk to yourself, recognize when you're stuck, and then tell yourself to stop doing that. Tell yourself that is not helpful. Another thing is to focus on like problem solving. Focus on actually doing something about it. A lot of the negative thoughts are just open ended thoughts, doom and destruction of unknown origin. You start off with this terrible negative thought and it makes you feel bad, and you never actually finish the thought. You just keep on starting thoughts that make you feel bad over and over and over again until you have all these paths that lead to nowhere that are all negative. So what we got to do is start focusing on, okay, well, what do I have control over in that situation? Instead of just leaving it as an open-ended thought. Well, what if he did cheat again? I survived this time, I will survive again. You don't have to tell yourself if you're going to leave or not. You don't have to even do all of that. You just acknowledge that I'm still standing right now that it happened. So even if it did happen again, it would hurt. Yes. Yes, it would hurt, but I'm still standing now. I'm still conscious. I am still moving forward in my life. So it's not going to kill me. It's not going to stop me. So even if the worst does happen, I'm still going to be okay. Focusing on solving the problem. What could happen? Okay, yes. The what if, answer the what if. The what if is always going in your head. Well, what if he's talking to her on the phone right now? What if he is? All right. He is making a mistake. That doesn't mean anything for your part in this. It does not mean that you stop doing the things that you are supposed to do. It does not mean that you have to throw him out. It doesn't mean you have to start screaming and hollering and responding to that. You don't have to. You do not have to do that. You can make a different choice other than what the fear tells you to do. When you start saying, okay, well, what if, answer the what if. What if that did happen? I, again, would be able to handle it. Three is challenging those thoughts. Challenging those thoughts. It's easy to get carried away with them and they get real extreme real fast. Ask yourself if it's likely. Ask yourself if you were like, yeah, this horrible thing is going to happen. Ask yourself if it's likely. Has it ever happened before? Has this ever gone down with him before? Ask yourself. A lot of the time you will find out it's not as bad, it's not as drastic as you thought it was. It was just scaring you. It was making you feel uncomfortable. And so you assume the worst and you assume that it was going to be terrible, but it may not be. All right. Make sure that you give yourself some time to reflect, to just think, to just let the thoughts free, let them go where they go. It's very hard to corral the thoughts if you never give them a chance to run free. Okay, you got to give them a little bit of time. That should not be a very long time. You can take about 10-15 minutes in your afternoon, in your evening. Try not to do it right before you go to bed. It probably would disturb your sleep. But, a couple of times a day, allow yourself some time to just sit there and worry if you want to, and stress about it if you want to, and feel anxious and what if yourself into the ground. But when that 15-20 minutes is up, that's it. That is the time limit you are putting on those terrible thoughts, that the what ifs, the I don't know what will happen, and all of that. You can give it 15-20 minutes. And then in between, when they start to roll in, they start to say, those creeping thoughts start to mess with you. You can say, wait, it's not time yet. It's not my scheduled time to freak out yet. I have that scheduled. It will be at 4:15. From 4:15 to 4:30, I will be able to freak out, but I am not freaking about that right this second. If it is still freaky at 4:15, I will deal with it then. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. It will give some boundaries to the anxiety, to those overthinking. It will give it some shape. I can do it, but I don't have to do it all the time. I do not have to sit here and freak out all the time. Be mindful. I always tell you about being mindful. Be present. Be here. Being mindful is about being in the present instead of in the past or in the future. You exist right now. There is nothing else. The past does not exist. The future is all in your imagination. It does not exist anymore. You are only living right now. So if you are suffering right now, you are suffering for something that does not exist anymore. Okay. So we need to get here now. Ground yourself. What's the date? What's the time? What's the temperature? What's the month? What is the season? Yeah, what is my name? What's my age? Where am I? What country am I living in? All of those things. Ground yourself to the here and now, the right this moment, instead of way back in the past and into the future. All right. And this is all just training. This is practice. It's not going to be easy when you first start off. It is not, but it gets easier. The more you practice, just like with the deep breathing, the more you practice it, the more you're thoughtful and mindful about it, and recognize when you're doing it, recognize when your thoughts are going to the left and you are just thinking entirely too hard and making these weird connections that don't actually make any sense. When that is happening and you pay attention to it and you actually work on it in the moment, that's when you start to change it. All right. So I want you to be working on that. If you're watching now, watching on the replay, let me know. Does that make sense? Do you feel like, okay, yeah, I can handle that? That's like 5 things. I can handle doing those 5 things. I can work on my thoughts. I do not have to be at the mercy of my overthinking anymore. I don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. You do not have to. You have choices, and I want you to be aware of the choices so that you can be active in making the choices. When you are active in making the choices about your life, you feel way better about your life. You feel way better about the opportunities in front of you. So I want you to be conscious of it, and I want you to grasp hold of every single thing that you can think of to control that is within your control, not the other person, the stuff that you can control about you, and do all of them. Okay. Practice, flow with them. All right. Lori said, good stuff. Thank you. I'm glad. I just want you to know, because I had to practice it. I had to do it myself. I fully know that you can do it, but it just takes practice. It takes being mindful about it. You got to give yourself a little bit of time to go ahead and freak out sometimes. It's okay to have that little bit of time. You just can't unpack and live there. That's my whole thing. You can freak all you want to some of the time, but you can't unpack and live there. Okay. Oh, let's see. Charmaine said, my partner's a sex addict. He's already physically cheated on me with 2 women, and now he can't stop video sex with other people, with real people. Okay, I caught him again recently. I'm sad that he would rather have video sex with others than make love to me. I really feel undesirable. How can I improve our bedroom life? He's not interested in lingerie or role play. I would like to know what it is about the whole video sex thing. It's probably the fact that, it's not a real partner. It's not somebody to disappoint. It's not anybody that he has to, the anxiety, the performance anxiety. You don't have to worry about somebody else being pleased on a video, but in real life, it's work. You actually have to please the other person. You have to actually think about it. So it may just be that. It may be just, feeling a little inferior and feeling like video is easier than a real live person. A real live person, it's not all about him and his fantasies. It's about the other person too. And it's a little hard to deal with that. Now, I know people are going to tell me that everybody always gets kind of squidgy about this topic, but I don't think that masturbation, I don't think that using porn, I don't actually think that even like the people that you pay that you can like do interactive porn with, I actually don't think that that's cheating. I think that's more masturbation. And I think that you have every right to play with your own body. I feel like that's cool. But when it gets to the point where you're not having actual sex with your partner, then yes, that actually is a problem. There's a line there like, okay, yeah, you can play with your own body all you want to, but don't forget about me. Don't forget that we're supposed to be partners. We're supposed to be having a sex life. So if it is interrupting your sex life, it has come to the point where he is not participating in your sex life, then we got to work on that. We got to work on getting to the point where, okay, what can we do that is going to get you interested in real life sex instead of just being on video? Because I did not agree to have a sex-free marriage. I did not agree to you just playing with yourself in front of the computer and then I'm all by myself over here. I didn't sign up for that, so we need to talk about that. So I would say, Charmaine, have that conversation. Like, what is going on? What do we need to do to get to that point? I mean, does that make sense? Allie, you said I overthink when detangling. Keep all the mysteries contained. You know what? Trying to keep all the misery contained. Yeah. See, that's the thing. The misery will keep on trying to multiply if you're not talking about it, but it will also multiply if you talk about it. So you got to think of some stuff that is going to make you feel better. That's not just talking about it. That is not reliving the trauma, because that's what it is when you end up talking about a trauma. You're reliving it, you are re-traumatizing yourself. So like, think of something that will work off some of that energy instead of dealing with the miserable part. Exercise is great. When you're feeling that anxiety and that fight or flight response, you got a lot of adrenaline pumping, and if you got it, you might as well use it. So a little bit of exercise, running around the house. I like to dance. That's what I do. I dance all around the living room, burn off some of that energy and feel better. You can break stuff. You can take a nap. You can do some self-care, do a nice hot shower. There's lots of different good, healthy things that you can do when you start that overthinking. Let's see. That's a yeah, good point. I'm asking for you. I'm grateful you asking this question. I struggle with that in my marriage. Yeah, right. It because it's all struggle, man. It is. It's so much uh thought that goes into it. We are, women, I think in general, we are such empathic creatures. We want people to be happy and to be comfortable, and we are always thinking about other people. But we got to start thinking about ourselves, and we got to start letting some stuff go. I think that is one thing that men are particularly good at. If you happen to have a man, and if you're with a woman, the same types of things to heal. But if you're with a man, that is one of those things that they're going to teach you is how to let go. Honey, nobody lets go like a guy. Okay, nobody can do it like they do. So if you have that example, a lot of the time you'll be able to figure out how to do it. Now, whether you want to or not, that's a whole different thing. I know that when you're in the midst of it, it's hard to let go, and you feel like letting go is the wrong thing to do. But you got to let go. You got to let go. I know holding on to it feels right. I know that the anxiety tells you that it's the right thing to do, but you got to let go in order to heal. You have to move past it. You cannot keep digging your fingers down into the wound and think that the wound is going to heal. It just doesn't work that way. So you got to let it go. You got to stop poking at it and prodding at it. Allie said someone needs to explain video sex to his whole grandma. Well, the whole thing. Okay, there are sites where you could go and you could just find somebody that just wants to hook up. They're not people that you're paying for. You may be paying for the service, but you're not paying the actual person. They're just somebody that's local or somebody, in a different area that wants to have like video sex. And I think it's like interactive masturbation. That's what it is. It is being able to interact with somebody, but actually not actually touching them. You're touching yourself, they're touching themselves. Then there are services where you can actually go and pay some money, and they'll do whatever it is you want on the screen, and they're interacting with you. They may or may not be interacting with lots of other people. That could happen too. So it's a lot. It's a lot. There's lots of different levels. Oh, sexuality is super complicated, but Charmaine is not happy about the whole him being in the video thing. Charmaine, you said, I understand that the cheating has nothing to do with me, but how do I stop dwelling on comparing myself to these women that he cheated on me with and emotionally hurting myself or feeling so undesirable and unattractive? See, that's the thing. Who said you were? Who said that? I think did that come from you? I think that might have came from you, Charmaine. He didn't say that. You equate him being attracted to somebody else as you're not desirable and attractive. We are going to be attracted to lots and lots of people in life, okay? I am attracted to lots of people, but that doesn't mean that I love my husband any less. You can have that. That's like a biochemical thing. That's not something that you can really, if you're attracted to somebody, that's something like your hormones. That kind of is just a reaction. It's not something that you particularly choose. But why does that mean that you have to be undesirable or unattractive? And just because you look different from these women, that still doesn't make you any less desirable. It still doesn't make you any less attractive. We're all different. I know you don't look like me. I think I'm pretty. I think you're pretty. I don't think that we're supposed to compare ourselves to each other. And I think that's a big thing with women. We are always trying to compare ourselves to another woman. And I think that was, media, and I think that's been some stuff that we've been fed over our lives, but it is just not true. We do not have to compare ourselves to anybody. We are not in competition with everybody. That's We're not. It does not matter. Even if he is interested in somebody else, that does not put you into competition with her. It does not mean that you have to feel any less about yourself just because he's attracted to somebody else. That's not real. That is just something that we've been told, that, oh well, if we don't keep their whole attention, then we're not the prettiest girl in the world anymore. No, we're not. Boost yourself up, work on your self-esteem, tell yourself positive things about yourself. There was this Facebook meme that said, flowers are pretty and Christmas lights are pretty. They're just not pretty in the same way. They're just, you can be pretty, beautiful even, but other women can be too, and it doesn't mean that you have to compare yourself to them. Does that make sense? That's always one of those things. Girls, we are always so stuck on comparing ourselves to other people. We are always in competition, and we have to stop that. We are not in any competition with anybody but ourselves. I am only in competition with who I was yesterday. That is it. No other woman is a stress or a worry to me. Okay, and I want you to feel me on that. I want you to be with me on that level. Charlie said, yeah, no, it can be a little gross, but I think sexuality is fascinating. I don't think that expressing your sexuality is necessarily a bad thing. But I think that a lot of men are taught that, like, masturbation is supposed to be secret, and you're not supposed to tell anybody, and you're not supposed to, interact with your partner on it. It's just supposed to be about you and in the dark in a sock somewhere. And I think that they kind of get a little misinformation about that, I think. Charmaine, he said, there's nothing new about me, and he knows every inch of your body. And that's not a bad thing, though. He's just saying to he's chasing the feeling. He's chasing the feeling of testosterone is what it is. New body parts, and it is literally the body parts. It's not the woman overall. It is the body parts. If he has a particular thing for butts, or if he has a thing for thighs, it is the testosterone surge that he gets with seeing new body parts. It is just one of those natural things that happens. It jacks up their testosterone level, and so they feel really good and they feel really manly when they're with us and they're in love and they're feeling all good. They get that oxytocin flowing. Oxytocin is the one with mothers and babies. That's why mothers feel so tenderly towards their babies. But when men feel that tenderness, they're like, oh God, this is really girly. I don't like this, and they want to go back and get some more testosterone. I think that's the only reason why it's a problem. It's because we produce a feeling of comfort, love, and for them it is a feeling of arousal and infatuation that comes with the testosterone. I think that's what the difference is. So that doesn't mean that he doesn't appreciate every inch of your body. I'm sure he loves the fact that he has every inch of your body, but it's the feeling that testosterone is surging when he gets to see another body. I know it sucks. I know it does. I'm just trying to explain why. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm just saying what is going through his head. Jill, hey! Just gonna say hello to you, Jill. Hi. Allie, you said you old school. You married your first partner, but of course I wasn't his first. Wow, Allie, that is, girl, that's doing something. Because for real, I didn't marry my first partner. I was not. No, that's not what happened with me. But that's really impressive. It is. It is impressive that you actually like married the first person you were ever with. That's very cool. Um, but I mean, like, because you did that, like, you didn't see a whole bunch of the stuff that came along with sex, especially with the digital age, with the internet. Yeah, all of that stuff came along, and whole bunch of doors open. People figured out a lot of things about themselves. Um, let's see, Jill. You said I just admit I just felt so ugly after seeing the women he cheated with. She was 12 years younger than me, though. But see, that still doesn't make you ugly. How does that make you ugly? Don't be comparing yourself, especially not with a kid. She's 12 years younger than you. She's a child. And so of course she's gonna look youthful, of course. But I mean, you're just a little bit older than her. You got a little bit more maturity going than she does. That does not mean that you're ugly. It does not mean that. What is up with that? Everybody, we got to start believing in ourselves, okay? I need you to repeat after me. I am beautiful. I am feminine. I am desirable. Say it one more time with me. Be with me. I am beautiful. Say it loud. I am feminine. I am desirable. You absolutely are. Okay. You really, really are. There's nothing wrong with you at all. You all are very beautiful women. We are all beautiful women. It does not matter what you look like for real, because women, we are gorgeous. We are we are beautifully made. We carry life. We are beautiful just on the face of being. Okay. We don't have to look a certain way, and everybody's got different standards for beauty. The standards of beauty when I was a kid, like nobody looked like me. So I always had different standards of beauty, thinking that I wasn't beautiful because I wasn't like on TV. But that does not make me not beautiful. I'm still just as beautiful just because I'm a big girl. I am 6 feet tall. I'm a large girl, okay? And just because I'm a big girl does not make me any less pretty than a tiny petite girl. That's just no, that is not how it works. We are all gorgeous. We are all beautiful, and we are all loving, wonderful creatures. So, I mean, just that in and of itself is a lot of beauty. All right. Um, Beth, you said living in a Bible Belt could kill your sex life. I guess kind of it would, right? I can imagine because I grew up in church, so I can imagine, being in that area of the country where it's real, real big and everybody's in church and, folks know your business. I can see how that may have a problem, when you're coming up trying to explore sexuality. Good gracious. Jill, you said thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You are beautiful. You are wonderful. You are loving. You are great person. You got so many other qualities. You don't have to worry about comparing yourself physically to some other chickie. You don't have to do that. They don't compare. You said I get it, Jill. Mine attracts two dumb women, then tries to use my not dumbness as a weapon. And see, that's the thing. You always want somebody different. You can tell that you've got to be smart because they're all stupid. You can tell that because men don't ever, they tend not to cheat with somebody who is the same as who they have. They tend to cheat with different than what they have. That's what I was just talking to Charmaine about. But yeah, you can tell that you're probably the smart one because they're kind of stupid. Yeah. And I don't know what it is about these other women always believing that they're going to leave. I don't get it. Like, honestly, most of the time that does not happen. I know it does happen to some people. I know some people in this group that they actually have walked out the door, but most of the time they came back too. A lot of men are not going to leave. That's just game. They're sitting there talking, telling these kind of dumb women what they want to hear. Because if I hear that you're unhappy and I can make you happy and your wife can't make you happy and you're going to leave her and you're going to be with me and you're just waiting a little while because of the children, you're stupid. That's dumb. That's game. It's all in your ear telling you what you want to hear so that you can accept less than somebody's whole heart. That's what it is. You are saying, well, I know that I'm not going to get you. I know chances are you just want to sleep with me and you're going to go home to your wife, but I'm going to risk it anyway because you're lying to me and I like the lies. That's exactly what it is, right? Just as it said, it sounds like your husband. I know, because they say that crazy stuff all the time. Jill, you're like, right, exactly. They're not too bright, okay? what is the one? There's another Facebook meme that goes around. It's like talking about how they picked off the weakest gazelle. They picked out the weak one, the sick one in the back, because that one was easy. Yeah, you can go run up and bite that one. Yeah, of course she'll let you bite her. If you got a smart one who's at the head of the pack, like you don't really need that, but it's a lot easier to play with one of those. It is. So most of the time it will show you the people that they're with will kind of show you that you have much better qualities than they do, and they never, very rarely intend to leave. They don't want to leave. They're not just trying to mess up their own comfort level. That's another big thing. And people just assume that men are just ready to walk out the door. Most divorces are initiated by women. Men are not going out and getting papers and saying, here, sign this, for the most part. They're not doing that. And most of the time, I think it's like 73% of the time, it's women who go get the papers and say, here, sign this, you idiot, I'm out. Like that's usually what happens. They're not going anywhere. Jill, you said, so ultimately, why did most men cheat? I've never been with anyone who cheated until now. I've been having a really hard time dealing with this. I'm sorry. I know that sucks. And that's, you avoided it a good long while. That was pretty good. But, I'll tell you what the three reasons are with me, but they all come down to one thing. They come down to pain. Usually that's what it is. Usually that's where their head is. They are trying to solve not all men cheat, not all of them do, but usually it's because of some damage. It's usually because they are hurting in some way. They have been told some garbage information, taught badly as they were growing up, and feel like that's a good thing to do to try and make themselves feel better. Ali said, my husband claims it's just a power game a lot of the time. Yeah. Because that makes them feel good. That makes them feel like I'm the man and I'm in control and she's listening to me and she's falling for it and she's doing what I want. Yeah. A lot of the time it's because there's something going on with them. There's some hole, there's some pain that they are trying to fulfill, and manipulating somebody else into doing what they want fills up that hole for a little while. It's just like drugs. It's like it feels a little bit better for a little while, and then it doesn't feel better anymore. And so then they got to try and go do it again. They have to learn what it is that they're actually trying to medicate in order. It's the same way with people on drugs. You got to figure out what it is you're trying to medicate before you can actually stop, before you can get yourself together. You got to figure out what that is. So my three categories: sick, sad, stupid. Okay. That's like the three categories of pain. Sick is real live. There is something wrong with him. There is something physically wrong, some kind of symptoms of some physical illness. That could be mental illness. That could be hormones out of whack. It could be like having a heart attack. All those things will change your behavior in ways that you don't necessarily expect. I have seen lots and lots of sick people in my years. Like I said, nurse for 20 years. I've seen lots of sick people, and people do things when they are sick that they would not have normally done. My husband has bipolar disorder. He was sick. He was sick for a good part of this. Now, he did cheat before he was getting sick, but I mean, he was still pretty sick at that time, but I just didn't know it at the time. He was acting more normal back when it first started, but then as it progressed, he was going steadily down, feeling bad. There is sad. Sad is some kind of loss. Some kind of, I have lost something from my life. It could be them feeling like they've lost their manhood. It could feel like they've lost the relationship with you. It could feel like it could be a real loss. Like I said, everybody is going through loss right now because of the pandemic. So everybody is feeling that loss, and a lot of people are grieving over different things. You can grieve over lots of different things that you wouldn't necessarily expect, but you feel bad because you lost them. Let's see. And stupid is not necessarily what you think it is. It's not just them being dumb. It's a little bit of that, but it's a lot of the stupid things that we're told about being in relationships, especially men. from little boys on up, from itty bitty boys to somebody coming up to them and saying, "Oh, you're going to be a heartbreaker and you're going to have all the girlfriends when you get older," to 16 or 17-year old, like, well, you haven't had sex. What is going on with you? Why haven't you had sex with somebody? Why haven't you had sex with lots of girls yet? To 22 or so, and then they're like, well, you got this one good girlfriend, but you shouldn't settle down now. You should have lots of good girlfriends before you start settling down. You got a good girlfriend, get another one. And all of the things that they told all through their lives, and then the other men that they have in their lives as role models are not necessarily the best. My husband has been on that lately because he was like, I didn't get a good example. He was like, I saw my uncles bringing girls over, as I saw, the men in my life who were supposed to be my examples doing crazy stuff. So I'm going to try and do better with my son. I'm not going to try and tell him that, oh, you should have lots and lots of girls running around. You should just go ahead and be with the person that you want to be with. And if you're not interested in them anymore, move on to the next person, but don't run around cheating on them. So, he has figured out that he's going to break that curse, but that's a curse in a lot of families. A lot of men deal with the men that they know showing them really bad examples. And if that's all you've ever seen, then how would you know any better? Like that if that was your whole experience, how would you know? And that's stupid. The other thing is like their parents. If they saw either one of their parents cheat on each other, their mom cheated on their dad cheated on their mom, especially if their mom cheated on their dad, because they see that and they're like, I'm never going to be that type of man. I'm not going to be taken advantage of like that. I'll be the cheater. You're not going to be able to do that to me. So it gets twisted. So there's a lot of reasons, but those are my three basic ones. It's usually about fulfilling some kind of ache, some kind of pain that's going on within them, and they figure a little bit of sex, a little bit of paying attention to somebody else, a little testosterone flowing is going to make them feel better. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't make sense because we're girls and we're a little different, but that's a lot of the time what it is, a power thing, making themselves feel good. Let's see. That he said it can feel that way sometimes. I missed with it. Oh, what, that it's a power game? Yeah, it is. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, Betty. I almost forgot. Betty, let me tell you this, Betty. I got to tell you this before we go. I almost forgot. Betty, you said you're having a family dinner tonight. I'm glad you get to go to your family dinner. Thirsty Thursday. You're getting that good family time in. I'm very glad for you. And of course, you can catch us on the replay. If you're catching us on the replay, #replay. Let me know that you're here. But Betty said, how to get your spouse to open up more and communicate. She said, my husband has been had a very hard time being honest and communicating. And when I hear a woman say to me, having a hard time getting him to be honest and communicate, usually it is about the infidelity. And I asked her, I said, communicating in general or communicating about the infidelity? And she was like, well, mostly about the infidelity. Okay, let's talk about this for 1 second. All right, I'm going to need y'all to stop expecting them to want to talk about it. I know. You expect them to want to talk about it. Well, if you know you're wrong and you're trying to fix this with me, then you're going to want to talk about it. But that's not true, okay? Most people, when they're caught and they're upset that they have gotten caught and they are out there, they know that they have hurt you, they know that they have upset you, they are not going to want to talk about it. They are not going to want to tell you details that are going to piss you off more. That's not reasonable, okay? Most people are not going to want to do that. And that's not saying that they're just being so dishonest with you. That is just a normal human reaction. Do you want to talk about it when you did something wrong? Do you want to keep rehashing it? I understand that women, we are very different and we do like to talk about things. But are you going to be happy talking about it over and over and over and over again? Because you did something wrong and you got to keep explaining yourself and keep talking about it and keep looking at the person that you hurt and they are suffering and they are crying and they are upset and they want to ask you a whole bunch of questions. Do you want that? Does that sound fun? No. No, it does not. So I'm gonna need you to stop believing that they're not being honest and they're avoiding you, or they're just sweeping it under the rug because they don't want to keep talking about it. Nobody wants to keep talking about what they did wrong. Nobody wants to keep doing that. It is a misery. Okay, it makes you sad. It makes you feel like you'll never be able to move on from this terrible thing you did. And everybody has something like that. I know I do. Now, if you don't, I am super impressed with you, but you don't have anything at all that you are like, damn, if I never had to talk about me doing that again, it would be too soon. Anybody got that? You let me know. Am I crazy for saying that you don't want to keep going into the exact same terrible thing that you did over and over again? Do you want to rehash it 6 months later, 9 months later, a year and a half later, 2 years later? Do you want to keep talking about it and telling them how awful you were and going into details that you know they don't want to hear because it's hurtful and it's painful to them? Do you really want to do that? I don't think so. I don't think so, Betty. I don't think that that's what you would want. And so that's what I want you to remember. If you want to communicate, let's communicate about something positive. Let's communicate going forward. Let's communicate about the present and going forward instead of talking about the past. Let's not keep on talking about trying to get more details about the infidelity. You know why you want more details about the infidelity? Because your brain is trying to stop you from healing. Your brain has decided that this was a painful thing that happened to you, that it doesn't want to have happen to you again. And so it's going to throw every roadblock it possibly can into your way in order for you to not to go down that healing path. And we have to not do that. We have to not allow that in our lives. We have to make the choice that we want to heal. We don't want to keep rehashing the past. We don't want to keep talking about the negative. We want to have a good, healthy relationship where we can talk about good stuff and we can talk about our future and we can get to a place where we are trusting and loving and open to each other instead of talking about, let me beat you down some more for the way you hurt me. You don't want that to be your life. So you have to start moving forward without talking about it all the time. I know it sucks, Betty. I know it does. I know it's not what most people want to hear. And you tell me now, if you're here with me, is that what you want to hear? I know. I know it's not what you want to hear, but it is still the truth. I had to do it myself. Again, I don't tell you anything that I have not done personally. I do not sit here and be a hypocrite and say, oh, well, I didn't do it like this, but you should do it like this. No, I'm telling you how I did it, how I got to the place where I can talk about it freely like this and not feel crushed about it anymore. Not be sitting there every 5 minutes thinking about, why did he cheat on me? This feels so bad. He treated me so bad. I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not there anymore. I'm telling you how I got there. So I want you to stop talking about it. I want you as soon as possible to stop talking about it because it's not helping you. It's not. Has it helped you? Honestly, think about it. Like, has it made it better that you got to talk about it? If you did get to talk about it, like freely talking about it all the time, does that actually help, or does that just make you feel bad a lot? Like, I found out it just made me feel bad a lot. Charmaine, you said, yeah, true. He said, you're never going to get over this, are you? Exactly. That is exactly the way they feel. That's exactly the way they feel about it. They feel like I can keep talking about it, but you're never going to get past it because you're not actively getting past it because you keep talking about it. You keep on going backward into the past, trying to talk about what's going on, what has happened, the pain that you were in, instead of moving forward and actually forgiving, actually, moving past it, getting to the next chapter in your life, healing up. You're never going to do that if you keep going backwards. I'm sorry. I know most women don't want to hear that, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I am never gonna lie to you. Every word that I've ever said to you has been the God's honest truth, as far as I have seen it, and it does not help to keep on talking about it, bringing it up. Jessica, you said, let me go read my Bible because it's not helping. But I can't forget he's a liar to the fullest. I'm disgusted. Well, see, that's the thing. That's not all he is, though. You wouldn't love him. You would not be here. You would not be in a group called Love After Cheating if all he was a liar. Oh, did my cat scare you? I'm sorry. I forgot he was up there. I got a black cat in a black background. He'll pop up and put his head in the screen every now and again. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Jessica, he's not just a liar. That's not all he was. He was your partner. He is the person that you love, the person you open up to, the person that you love so much that you thought so highly of that you're actually willing to forgive them for cheating on you. Like, he can't just be a liar. That can't be all he is now. And the trauma will try and reduce him to that. The trauma will try and reduce him and everything that you ever had to nothing. And that's not so. You were not crazy when you fell in love with him. You were not oblivious and blind. You saw good, positive qualities in this person. That just because he has been lying doesn't mean that that's all he is. He is not just a liar. He is also your partner. He is also the person that you love. He is also the person that you want to be with. You said, I love him very much, but I really want to move forward. Yes, I want you to move forward too. Stop talking about the past, girl. Go ahead and move forward. It is all right for you to do that. And let me mention again my recovery and reconciliation membership. If you are to the place where you are not freaking all the time, if you're still in the devastation phase and you have not got your emotions even kind of gathered up anymore, that's probably more of a one-on-one thing. Hit me up if you're interested in doing one-on-one coaching, as I do have a program for that. But if you are a little bit past that and you're like, I want to heal, I want to do this, come join my recovery and reconciliation membership. You can vent about this every week. You got me. I'm sitting there. I am with you every week, every single solitary week in our group. It's a very intimate group. It's not very big at all, but we are making moves. We are striding towards healing. We are getting off the pain and getting onto that healing path. And I'm here for you to do that. I want you to take advantage of that. It is $67 a month. That's it. Way cheaper than therapy. Just like you say, make it sound so easy. Oh, I make it sound easy because it's been a long time for me. But it was not easy, but it is simple. Does that yeah. It's not real complicated to heal. It's not. It is just difficult. It is hard to do because your brain, your trauma wants to tell you the exact opposite. Your trauma, the reaction to a trauma is to back away, to not be close anymore, to not have that intimacy, to not trust. And it sounds like the most reasonable thing in the world when your fear tells you that. But that's not actually the way you want to live. And you got to be careful about that. You got to be real conscious about what type of life you actually want to live. If you want to live a life that you are closed off, you are isolated, you do not have a mate, you flirt around with people sometimes, you have sex sometimes, you're not in that relationship, you're not trusting anybody, you're never letting your walls down. If that's the type of life you want to live, have at it. Okay, I am not one to tell you how to live. However, if you're like me, that's not the type of life you want to live. You don't want to live closed off. So if that's the case, we have to fight against that natural reaction that happens when we've had a trauma. We've got to do the exact opposite of what the fear tells us to do. If the fear is like, run, you need to get closer. If the fear is like, don't talk to him, then you need to go ahead and talk. You need to do the exact opposite of everything that the fear tells you to do, because the fear does not want you in a relationship. The fear wants you to be apart. It wants you to be by yourself so that nobody can ever hurt you, which is kind of dumb because if you're all by yourself, that's kind of painful too. But, our brains think like that. So, I try and make it sound easy. I want it to be simple. It's not easy. It's a very difficult thing to do, to be able to forgive somebody, to be able to practice unconditional love, because that's what this is. This is a practice of unconditional love. You are saying that even something you thought was a big old deal breaker actually is not. And this person has so much of your heart that you are willing to consider real, true, unconditional love. You're going to forgive. You are going to believe in them. You are going to move forward. Things are going to go well. All right. So that is what you are actually trying to do. And that's not an easy thing to do. That's not. But it is a very worthwhile thing to do. It is a very courageous thing to do. It is a very loving thing to do. So, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. Jill, you said I literally live right across the street from the woman's apartment where everything went down. Oh God. I said that's the hardest part of my whole healing process. I know it is, Jill. I know it is. Give it the finger last night. Was it Betty? I don't know if that was you, Betty. Give him the finger across the street every day. Make yourself feel a little bit better. That's where it happened. Screw that. I'm not going to be fearful. I'm not going to be anxious about it. I'm going to say, screw you. Gotta take your power where you possibly can. Gotta get up every morning, go outside with your coffee. Get up first thing in the morning. Say screw you to that apartment building and come on back inside and take your power back for the day. All right. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it. Woo! All right. I have been talking up a storm. Is there any other questions, any other comments, thoughts, complaints, anything that you're like, Dasha, you are nuts. I cannot believe you said that. Or, Dasha, you are brilliant. I cannot believe I found my way to your wonderful group. You can say both. I don't mind either one. All right. Woo! All right, I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you. We talked about overthinking. We talked about cheating back. We have been talking about some things today. You're so welcome, Charmaine. I'm glad that you are here, that you're working on this. I know he makes you so mad. I know it seems so dumb. Everything that they do just seems so stupid. But you can come through this. This is not permanent. This is not going to be your life forever. That's the way I was afraid of. I was like, this is going to be my life forever. Because he didn't just cheat once. Okay. Do y'all know that about that? He didn't just cheat once. It was a whole bunch. It was a whole bunch of times. It was a whole bunch of mess that was involved in him cheating. So, for a little while I was like, is this going to be my whole life? And me dealing with him, doing this, and then trying to, have the fallout and trying to deal with our relationship afterwards. No, it's not. It's not your whole life. It feels like it at the time, but it's not your whole life. It has been way more years, not my life, than it was years of my life. It was probably the first 4 years that we were together. And then like for the 14 after that, things gotten better and better and better consistently throughout that time. So this is a very small portion of your life. I know it feels like a huge part, but this is not going to be your entire life. You can get past this. All right. Let's see. Anybody else? Let me make sure. No other comments. I don't know why it doesn't come up on my screen automatically anymore. Let's see. Oh, Jill, you say you're awesome. Oh, thank you. And I did flip that woman off once. I haven't seen her since. See, it's like a curse. It settles that. Get her out of your life. You gotta go. And let her go. That's what I am fully with that. I'm glad you did that, Jill. It feels so good. It's just cathartic. Just show her how you feel. Christy, you say true blessing, Miss Dodge. Thank you so much. I'm trying to be a blessing. The final stage of healing after infidelity is being an inspiration. It's the inspiration phase. It is being able to tell this story. You will one day be able to tell this epic tale, and somebody else is going to sit next to you and they're going to say, oh my God, girl, I cannot believe you came through that. I don't know if I could do it. And you're going to tell her, yes, you can. I know I was able to come through it. And Coach Dasha was the one that showed me she was able to come through it too. So I know right now of a couple of women right off the top of my head that have gotten through it when they thought they couldn't. So I know that you can do it too. That is exactly where I want you to be. I want you to come to that place where you are not ashamed of this anymore, where you can tell this story loud and proud and tell exactly what happened without being ashamed of it and say that you came through it. I'm going to be super impressed when you can do that. That's that last piece of the healing path. That is getting home on the healing path when you're able to do that. So I will be excited when you can do that. Let me know when you feel like you can do that. When you can tell that story, what did it say? When you can tell your story and it doesn't make you cry, you've healed. All right, that's exactly where I want you to be. I want you to be able to tell this story and tell another woman that she can absolutely do this and actually have the experience to make her believe you, to be an inspiration to her and let her know. Woo. All right. I have talked and talked and talked. This is hour and 23 minutes. All right. That's long past the healing hour. But of course, I will sit here and talk to y'all almost all night. But I think that's about it. I don't see any other questions. No other comments, any other. I don't think I saw anything else on Thirsty Thursday. But I am so glad that you all are here with me. Thank you so much for joining me. This is always so much fun when I get to actually talk to you. It's great when I can come and I'll just do the thing and I'll go through my regular routine. But it's so much better for me when I actually get to talk to you. I get so excited to get the feedback from you, to be able to sit here and actually answer your questions and hold your hand and guide you along the healing path. And I want to do more of that. So let me know if you need some coaching, if you are at a place where you're like, I got to heal from this. I am not trying to live like this anymore. I want this to be better. Come talk to me. I have a couple of programs going right now that you can come get in on. If whatever level of assistance that you need, I am here for you, and we can get you to a place where you can feel like you are open and loving and trusting again, and that you do not have to keep suffering for this terrible wrong that was done to you. You don't have to anymore. I promise you don't. All right. I think that's about it. Lori, thank you for the love, Lori. Thank you so much. I love you all so much. I love doing this. Ah, this makes me so happy to get to talk to you. All righty, y'all. Let's see. Do I have a I didn't think of of an affirmation. Well, you know what? We're gonna keep on with the one that I said earlier today. I am beautiful. I am feminine. I am desirable. Don't you forget that about yourself. You are gorgeous. I don't care who he was talking to. That does not take away from you. Felicia, hey girl. Look, I'm about to get off now. But don't forget, that's your affirmation for this week. I am beautiful, I am feminine, and I am desirable. And don't do what fear tells you to do. Do the exact opposite. And keep on traveling down the healing path. I'm here for you if you need me. So reach out. Love Coach Dasha on Facebook. Message me. Love Coach Dasha on Instagram. DM me. Let me know. Hey there, Felicia. I see you over on Instagram too. You follow me everywhere. I know that's right. And Allie, you said, that's right. Girl, you with me. I know you know. All right. Alrighty, y'all. That's it. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you again next week. It'll be February already for the next edition of the Healing Hour Live. I will see you then. Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.